Jacksonville Jaguars fans, welcome into Duval Daily, presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan Lua. Thanks so much for being here Tuesday, November 25th. Right now, we have got six reasons. I'm an English major, so math was never my forte. Counting, never my forte. But we have 6 reasons, new reasons, to be excited about the Jaguars. And these are areas of the team that have been performing better, or there's reason for encouragement moving forward throughout the remainder of the 2025 campaign. And the Jaguars, all you have to do is look at the standings to realize why you should be excited. I mean, they're 7-4, right? They're in second place in the AFC South, 6th place in the AFC. They control their own destiny. Heading into December, they control their own destiny. When's the last time you said that? Well, actually wasn't too long ago, 2023, right? But it feels good nonetheless. The Jaguars and their fans have suffered a lot over the last decade and a half. So it feels good to be in a spot where you are playing meaningful football heading into December, heading into Thanksgiving weekend. And so look, that's a reason to be excited in and of itself. But we've got 6 other reasons, more football, actual football related, to get into here. I'm excited for it. Really appreciate y'all being here. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. You can also check out GenJag.com, pick up some new Duval gear, help support the channel, look good while doing it. So it could go a lot of different directions. It's hard for me to start anywhere else than Brenton Strange / not only what Brenton Strange brings to you, just like his physical skill set, but what he allows you to do schematically is huge for the Jaguars. The Jaguars this year were the most 11 personnel heavy team in football. A big reason for that is Brenton Strange had missed half the year. You know, he exited early on against the Kansas City Chiefs. And so the Jaguars not only lost him, Hunter Long got injured shortly after that. And so now you just don't even have the numbers to get into 2 tight end sets. And so for those of y'all who don't know, 11 personnel, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 running back, pretty standard formation, right? In the modern game. But if you have the ability to be effective from 12 personnel, where you have 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, and a running back, that can present matchup problems for the defense. It can present schematic problems for the defense. And if you have the ability to have a player like Brenton Strange who can operate out of 11 or 12 and be a matchup problem, move around the formation often, win in a variety of ways, it just helps the offense. It just does. And you saw that in full effect against the Cardinals. I mean, 5 catches, 93 yards on 5 targets. He was just a godsend, really. And if they can get Hunter Long, then they have their full complement of tight ends back. And so that would be a huge development. But just getting Brenton Strange out there, his ability to be a safety valve, but also a playmaker, a run blocker, a player who brings a level of physicality and intensity and energy to the field that is infectious. You saw it. You saw it against the Cardinals. You've seen it every time he's been on the field this year. And now you not only have the ability to get him on the field, but you have the ability to get into more 12 personnel. Like if you're out there in 12 personnel with Johnny Mutt and Quentin Morris, you're not really threatening the defense with those 2 guys in the passing game. But if you got Brenton Strange and another tight end out there, now you're talking. Like if it's Brenton Strange, whichever other tight end, because all 3 of the other tight ends have the ability to block. They're not perfect. I think that Munt and Morris are better blockers than Long. Long is a better athlete than the other 2. But, again, if you have the ability to get Brenton Strange out there with another competent tight end and Jacoby Myers and Parker Washington and Travis Etienne, you can threaten in a lot of different ways. And you can move Brenton Strange from inline to the slot to the backfield. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool to see. And I'm just so happy for Brenton Strange. And, knock on wood, but if things continue the way they have for him, he's going to get paid. He's going to get paid handsomely. So good stuff for a former Trent Baalke draft pick that a lot of people have crapped on for a long time. So people started getting excited about him last year, but early on, people were really just pretty rude. And I think that was more about Baalke and team building than really about Brenton Strange, but Strange is a heck of a player. Okay, so next reason. In this game, Josh Hines-Allen, he moved around a lot more than normal, and I can pull up the numbers. He usually moves around a little bit throughout the game, but is primarily on the defensive right side, offensive left side. He rushed from the defensive left side against the right tackle a lot. And the reason I liked that specifically in this game is because Jonah Williams, Cardinals starting right tackle, was down. And their starting left tackle, Paris Johnson, while young, is a good player. I mean, he's a heck of a player. So getting Josh Hines-Allen moving around the formation and hunting up matchups, as the Jaguars, James Gladstone, and the rest of the organization likes to say now, getting him hunting up some matchups I thought was huge. And he had 11 pressures, a sack. He was all over the place, doing a really good job. And you look at his alignment in this game. He was aligned on the offensive right side, where he normally aligns, 25 times. He was aligned on the offensive right side, defensive left side, 46 times in this game. That is, I mean, he'll move around a little bit, right? But the most snaps he has had on the offensive right side, defensive left side this year is 15 in week 5 against the Chiefs. So you're talking about a huge schematic change, alignment change for Josh Hines-Allen in this game. And again, there's no Trayvon Walker. So I think that not having Trayvon Walker, I'm not going to ever say that helps the Jaguars, because it doesn't. But it did create an opportunity for the Jaguars to move Josh Hines-Allen around a little bit more. And that's exactly what they did. And I think it helped him hunting up matchups and getting to go against lesser competition. And I think sometimes that's what you should do. So maybe that can be something they learn from, and they start moving these guys around a little bit more, creating matchup problems. I like that idea a lot. You also have, just in general, the pass rush coming alive. Over the last 3 weeks, the Jaguars' pass rush has been the best it's been. And I know people want to say there was no pass rush against the Texans. Well, that's just simply not true. When the coverage was capable, the pass rush was getting there outside of one play, and that was the touchdown to Dalton Schultz, where Mills did hold the ball for a very long time. I studied that game extensively, especially on the defensive pass rush. There was some good moments for sure from that pass rush. But the last 2 weeks against the Chargers and then the Cardinals, it's stepped up even more. You saw Danny Strigo, BJ Green, Eric Armstead's doing a really good job. A lot of guys getting in there on the pass rush, including like off-ball linebackers, safeties, corners, everybody. Like Devin Lloyd and Dennis Gardeck were hitting the crap out of the quarterback in this game. But it feels like the pass rush and the coverage are really coming together a little bit better over the last 3 weeks. And that's a huge development. It really is. And the Jags, they'll have some tough matchups down the stretch, but specifically against the Colts and the Broncos. But they're good at running the ball, stopping the run. The Jaguars are. So if they can continue to be a team that slows down the opposing running game, and their pass rush continues to play the way it has, I mean, they're in business. They're in business. And a lot of it goes back to the coverage, the ability to be a little bit stickier, to get up closer to the line of scrimmage in these clear pass rushing situations, not play so passive. But yeah, it's working right now. It is absolutely working, and that's a reason to be excited. We also have how about Cam Little, right? Cam Little. There was a unbelievable amount of confidence in Cam Little following his rookie campaign. an unbelievable amount of confidence entering the regular season in Cam Little and to start the regular season. After he made the NFL record 70-yard kick in preseason, so it's really a preseason record, not a regular season record. Coming into the season scorching hot, feeling really good, right? His first 2 games, he was 6 of 6 on field goal attempts. And then it started to fall apart, kind of inexplicably. Very strange. And kicker is a fickle position throughout the history of football. It just is. We're aware of that. But the Jaguars, their head coach, Liam Cohen, everybody stuck with Cam Little. They publicly and privately stuck with Cam Little. They did not bring in any other kickers for competition. They stuck with the guy despite him having a ton of misses from week 3 through week 7. There was a 5-game stretch where Cam Little, let's see here. Cam Little missed how many kicks during this 5-game stretch? He missed 1 against the Texans, 1 against the 49ers. He didn't miss 1 against the Chiefs. So he had missed 2 in 3 weeks. Missed 1 against the Seahawks. He had to make that one. That was huge. So he missed 3 in 4 weeks. And then missed again against the Chargers. Against the Rams. So he missed 5 field goals in 5 weeks, right? Something like that. Again, not good at math here. But 5 field goals, 5 weeks, really 4 field goals, 5 weeks. Whatever it was. I can't do math. The bottom line is he was lacking confidence. He was missing kicks, and some of them he was missing badly. The Jaguars stuck with him, and over the last four games, he hasn't missed a kick. He didn't have to kick 1 against the Chargers. He did make all of his extra point attempts against the Chargers, 5 of them, but the last 3 weeks, you look at what he's done. Or 4 weeks, excuse me. Numbers are just killing me right now. Against the Raiders, in a game where they needed all the points he gave them, he made 3 field goals. 1 from 30 to 39, 1 from 40 to 49, 1 from 50 plus. That's big. Next week against the Texans, in another game where they needed all the points they could get, he delivered 3 of 3. Again, didn't have to kick against the Chargers outside of extra points and kickoffs. And then against the Cardinals this past week, another game where they needed all the points they could get from him, he delivered. 2 field goals of 52 yards in that game. Yeah, I'd say Cam Little is back. And that's a huge development because, and not a lot of people really talked about this a lot. When Cam Little was off, the Jaguars were off. That was the stretch where the Jaguars started losing football games, right? Honestly. It wouldn't have mattered against the Rams. But if Cam Little had some confidence and been able to make some kicks against the Seahawks, the Jaguars might have won that game. So it's not all on him, but like that was a stretch where it was like, uh-oh. And NFL games are so close. Usually. Almost every single week. Not being able to rely on your kicker is a huge problem. Being able to rely on your kicker is a huge boon for a team. So that's so exciting. And you just root for the guy because he's so talented and youngster, a lot of fire, a lot of energy. Absolutely love it. We'll continue talking about these reasons for confidence, but football season, it's in full swing. We're over halfway through now, and Underdog, it's the best place to make picks and win money all season long. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. You can now also make team picks on Underdog, which is really fun. You've got Jaguars at Titans coming up. Who y'all got? I think you know where I'm going. I also like Brenton Strange, higher than 31.5 receiving yards. I like that a lot. Download the app today and sign up with promo code DuvalDaily to score $100 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code DuvalDaily. Underdog, Make picks, win money. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. Shout out to Underdog Fantasy. So getting into the rest of these reasons, new reasons for excitement. The offensive line over the last 2 weeks, and so this is tentative, right, has not been losing one-on-ones. Now, early on against the Cardinals, specifically the first half, the Jaguars had some protection issues, but it wasn't the offensive line losing one-on-ones. It was the pass protection plan not being communicated well enough and not IDing well enough some of the different rushes that the Cardinals, rushes that the Cardinals were bringing. It was schematic more than execution, in my opinion. And so, again, they're not losing one-on-ones a lot in pass pro right now. Of course, against the Texans, they did. And that was only 3 weeks ago. But the Texans are proving to be one of the most difficult defenses to deal with, not only this year in the NFL, but of recent years. I mean, that is an incredible defense. It really is. And so, yeah, tough there. But overall, I mean, even Walker Little the last couple of weeks is doing a good job. Everybody. And not only is that offensive line executing more post-snap, not having these pass protection breakdowns in one-on-one situations, not getting blown up in the, running backs blown up in the backfield as much, you're also not seeing as many penalties from that group. That's a big development. If they can continue playing that way, that gives this team a lot of hope, in my opinion. You also have the potential for a lot of important players to return to the field. Jordan Lewis should be back soon. Trayvon Walker, you hope. I mean, he didn't practice last week, so I don't really know how bad that knee injury is, but you hope he could be back. Jordan Lewis practiced limited last week, so you hope he can be back. Anton Harrison, your starting right tackle, your most consistent offensive lineman in pass protection. Eric Murray, could he be back soon? He was placed on IR about a month ago. Don't know exactly what his status will be. And then Brian Thomas Jr., of course. Potentially getting him back at least can help stretch the field. I mean, even if he's doesn't return to like what you remember from 2024, he at least can help stretch the field. And I think what I would do with Brian Thomas Jr. returning is probably try to get him into that De'Ami Brown role that was around before the Cardinals game. De'Ami Brown only had 4 snaps on offense against the Cardinals. But the weeks before that, he had, on average for a couple weeks, about 20 snaps a game. I don't know how the Jaguars will handle the Brian Thomas Jr. return when that happens, which it feels like it could happen this week. He has an ankle injury. Don't know he'll come back this week. Seems like it would be a good week to get him back against we'll talk a lot about the Titans game. I think it's going to be tougher than people are expecting. I really do. But you would think against a team like that would be a good week to try to get Brian Thomas Jr. back in the mix. I'm nervous about the Brian Thomas Jr. return more than I am excited. I think that they have a really good thing going with the passing game right now with those receivers, the big 3 that they have targets. But there's no question his skill set, if he is executing, can help open up things for other players and help open up this offense a little bit more. And so it's going to be fascinating to see. But really, you talk about getting Jordan Lewis back. Is that much of an upgrade over Jarian Jones? Probably not. Just, it is what it is. But Trayvon Walker, you absolutely want back on the field. You want Anton Harrison back on the field. You want Eric Murray back on the field. So that's what I'm looking at. And then finally, since the bye, the Jaguars are scoring an average of 30.25 points per game. That's, I mean, that's a lot of freaking points. It's fun to watch a team score points. Are these games stressful? Yes. Is watching football for your favorite team when everything's on the line stressful? Yes, that's just the way it is. And I know Trevor Lawrence ain't making it easy on folks with all these turnovers. I know it. Trust me. I'm right there watching the games. But the offense is putting up points. And the team in general putting up points. Like, yeah, the return game is helping with that. Sometimes the defense is helping putting up points as well, with turnovers forced and different things. But since that bye week, they have averaged over 30 points per game. And there's been some stretches of really good offense in Jacksonville. You saw some really good offense in 2022 down the stretch. Early on in 2023, there was some really good offense, effective offense, points being put on the board. They did have a stretch in 2022 where they averaged 30 points per game towards the end there. But, 2017, they were putting up some points. Go back to the late 90s, mid to late 90s, they were putting up some points at times too. But there's just been way too many periods of drought offensively for the Jaguars, certainly for Jaguars fans, and you're not seeing that right now. You're seeing turnovers for sure, but you're seeing points put on the board too, and it's fun to watch a team that scores points. And it's not a fluke. A team averaging 30 points per game over a month, and it's not like they just had one game with 50. They're consistently getting right around that mark over these last 4 games. 30 against the Raiders, 29 against the Texans, 35 against the Chargers, 27 against the Cardinals. They're scoring points right now. They're moving the ball, scoring points, and finding ways to be effective on offense, even with the turnovers. So that's exciting. Excited to continue to watch this football team. Let me know where you're at in the comment section below, how you're feeling, where your confidence level is, what you think about these new points of confidence for the Jaguars moving forward. Really appreciate y'all tuning in. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. And y'all have a good one.